我们的节目经常有我跟著名科学家的对话。最近，世界顶尖科学家协会与字节跳动帮我联系到了一位诺贝尔奖得主约阿希姆·弗兰克。下面我就来和弗兰克教授连线。
In recent World Lawrence Forum held in Shanghai, you mentioned the opportunity and the challenge to future science, which that cryo-EM with the price of $6 million is too expensive for most laboratories. So what ideas do you have to do this?
Well, the $6 million is the price tag for the high-end microscope. There's the Krios. Many labs around the world have bought and have scraped money together for this. But this is a very good machine. Many people are happy about it, but the cost is so enormous that a normal lab cannot afford it. They have to get money together from the institutions, sometimes several institutions, plus government money. So it's not possible to get a grant, a government grant in any of the countries that I know, to simply buy this. Okay, so which really means that that the instrument is really something like a privilege of very large centers, either very rich universities or these are government centers that are set up specifically as core for core instrumentation. But that really means that you need to ship these specimens there, or you have to travel there. So it's not good, and that's why I said a solution has to be found for reducing the prices of these instruments.
How much progress do we get in this direction?
I think there is right now there is just an announcement. In fact, it's going to be maybe tomorrow, an announcement by Thermo Fisher about a lower cost instrument. There's some kind of a webinar, and I registered for it, and I'm maybe other people already know about the instrument, but I'm right now I'm not informed about it. But tomorrow I'm gonna know about it.
Thank you so much. So the next question is that you were born in Germany.
Right.
But you were working in the US when you got the Nobel Prize. So how do you think about the systems of science and education in Europe and in the US? And what are the merits worth learning for China, or the shortcomings which China should avoid?
Well, that's an interesting question. When I got my academic education in Germany, with students having very little say, so I think this is not a very good system. It has not. I think a lot has changed after my departure. I left Germany already in 1970.
Mm-hmm.
And
just
so
after you got your PhD?
Yes, that's where I got my PhD. And then afterwards, I was traveling in the United States, and I was in England, and then came back to the United States. So I have only an insight about the system right up to the time when I got my PhD. And there I observed that it was, I think it was sort of an unhealthy way how science was organized, and that's not a good atmosphere for innovation and creativity. In the United States, it was the opposite. I got to appreciate the labs in which creative ideas, no matter where they come from, are immediately appreciated and recognized, even from an undergraduate. So it was a completely different situation. And I come to appreciate this Anglo-Saxon way of doing science. And as you know, England was very successful in spearheading the whole revolution in molecular biology, molecular genetics. So, and so that's really, I think this at the core of why so many successful science was done in the United States. So what can China learn from this? It's pretty obvious, right? It's pretty obvious.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
So do you have close collaborations with Chinese scientists? How do you think about the situation of science and education in China? So do you have some suggestions?
I have a good relationship to Tsinghua University. And I already mentioned Yi Guangxi. So I've been interacting with them. I'm on a board, on a scientific advisory board there, and I've visited a whole number of times and participated in workshops on the faculty of workshops. So it's sort of interesting. As you know, it was always the way to become to really get into a career was to essentially leave China and then get to either Europe or the United States and get an postdoc experience there, and then come back and then immediately come into a position. There might be that might be changing, maybe because of this very strange attitude that has developed in the United States, but maybe there's going to be a change again. So I'm really not sure. There could be a change in that kind of pattern. It might be possible for a Chinese student to get his merits and apprenticeship in China directly as years go by. So I'm really not sure what to say, because China has been in a growth spurt, and there are lots more opportunities. There are lots more very expensive technology, even at distant places. So it's a sort of a changing pattern now.
Thank you very much. So at last, do you have some word to Chinese people?
I have to strongly emphasize that science is international. It always was international. I even cringe when I hear about China, something like Chinese science or American science. And
there's no such thing as a country, science of one country. Science is science for the whole world.
It is a method. Is a method, and it uniquely combines people in recognizing the triumph of rationalism. Okay,
I totally agree.
There's only one way to think straight. Essentially, follow the recipe of the scientific method, and you can talk to anybody in the world about your ideas, and they appreciate it if they are educated in the same way. So it really crosses all borders, and it's my sincere hope that it stays this way, and that we can use science to solve the most pressing problems, including global warming.
Thank you so much.
Right. Okay.
So it's very nice to meet you, and we wish you a faster recovery. So yeah, it will be very nice to meet you sometime again.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
欢迎大家3连支持并关注科技园园人风，我来带领大家遨游科学世界。